Are you good now?
Yeah. So doing this on the fly and just winging it, like I said, but I wasn't expecting to come. I wasn't expecting to tell me, go ahead, hop on to Discord. So like, my phone was not set up, Mixer wasn't set up. Just had to throw everything all together real quick. That's why we were running into technical difficulties there for a minute.
I love bringing people on Discord. So, you said no idea if Xanderhal sees this, but he's straight up gaslighting both Ben and the right's position on virtually everything so far, and I'm curious, what do you think gaslighting means?
Well, I mean, you've seen the movies, right? From the 1940s, where the husband, in both cases, was dimming the lights were not electrical lights as we know them today. They were gas lamps. So he was dimming the gas lamps, right? So, and when he was doing that as the reason he was doing that was to basically convince his wife at that point that she was crazy because I think he was trying to get a divorce or something. It's been a long time since I saw the movies. But basically what you're doing is just not presenting truthfully what is the reality that is before people.
What is the reality that is before people then?
When it comes to Ben,
well, what does Ben think reality is?
No. So I'm going to be doing this from a gigantic steelman position because there's a lot that I disagree with Ben on this matter. Right? Mm-hmm. But so huge caveat on all this, that I'm describing Ben in the right's positions, not necessarily mine, because that's what that message was about. So first things first, you mentioned that Ben thinks that sexuality and homosexuality is entirely a choice. This is not the case. Now, there was a time when he was a teenager and he wrote articles that said exactly this. He's actually retracted that position almost to the brink of nothing. Right? So his current position on homosexuality is, and I don't think he actually believes this behind closed doors, his current position on homosexuality is that there could plausibly be a social element to behaviors behind it, not motivations, not what's going on inside somebody's head. Like, I'm straight, so I will never be attracted to dudes, and that's happening in my head. But in terms of the behavior that I act upon that, there is some element of choice, is what he would argue.
Okay, so your issue with what I said is that I said Ben Shapiro thinks that being gay is a choice, and your response
entirely
is
a choice.
Ben Shapiro doesn't think it's entirely a choice.
Dude, you the way you described this was as an absolutism. You doubled down on it.
My bad. I shouldn't have been so. My bad. I shouldn't have been so absolutist. I got something in my teeth, I think.
Oh my god. There's no need to be this obtuse. Like,
obtuse?
He's when he
What's that mean? I'm sorry, I'm fucking with you. No, I don't think I was being. I don't.
I'm not watching your video right now. I'm not watching your video right now, so I can't pick up on like visual cues to see when you're joking about something like that. Sorry.
No. To be completely serious though, I don't think I was gaslighting Ben Shapiro or his audience at all. I don't think that gaslighting is something you can really do to anybody over like as an. It's just not a thing that a creator does to people watching a video. This is an interpersonal relationship thing that happens. It's an abuser tactic. Gaslighting is not either one, getting something wrong, two, even lying. That is not what gaslighting is. This is a word that has been, for the love of God, butchered to hell. Please stop. Please don't be one of those people who uses gaslighting at every possible opportunity where you think it's applicable because you learned the word a couple years ago or a few months ago and you really, really want to use the word. Just don't be that guy. Don't do that. It's very cringe. Very, very cringe.
Is that, so yeah. Are you actually accusing me of that, or is this just a general don't?
Listen, okay? Take that as you will. My main point is that Ben Shapiro...
I'm not watching your video right now, so if there's something they're saying that's going to require, like, a wink and a nudge, I'm not going to be able to see it.
No, I'm not winking and nudging anything. No, but to get to Ben Shapiro's point, and his position, Ben Shapiro clearly sees that Ben Shapiro clearly believes that there is a moral distinction between being straight or being, cisgender, and being trans, being, gay, being queer, whatever, right? He clearly sees being straight as moral, normal, and good. He views being gay as being bad, immoral, and possibly evil, depending on how much you're willing to look into his beliefs and his motivations. So when I see him go onto a show,
before you go any further,
sure.
real quick, before you go any further, this is one of the things that I'm going to say is not true. But go on.
Okay, so when I see Ben Shapiro talk about how much he loved Beauty and the Beast when he was younger, a story that is essentially about the relationship between a woman and a man, or a man that turns into a furry boy, like
at an incredibly surface level, maybe, sure.
Sure, but that is what's happening on screen. That's what the children are seeing. If you made that relationship now a gay one, if it was Bill and the Beast, for Ben Shapiro to now view that as being immoral would necessarily require him to view queerness as something inherently immoral, something that children ought not to be exposed to. Explain to me how.
So what he would say is, if that movie were released in it was 91, 92, somewhere in there, right? If that exact movie was made by Disney in those exact circumstances, if Beauty and the Beast wasn't Beauty and the Beast in 1992, it was, like you said, Bill and the Beast, I don't think that he would argue that the motivations behind doing that were in any way political, were in any way anything other than.
Wait. He doesn't have an issue with it being political. That's not the problem. He thinks that anything. Well, he does have an issue with it being political.
No, time out.
He does have a problem with it.
No.
Hey, my stream. Let me correct myself. This is my stream, motherfucker. This is my stream. Let me correct myself. Quiet down. It is about it being political to him. He views any depiction of people being gay as political. He doesn't just think that when people at Disney say that being gay is good and they want to encourage showing and representing, gay things being in their media as a that's not what he has a problem with. He has a problem with the representation, period.
No, he has a problem with the agenda.
What is the agenda?
That's what he
says. What is the agenda?
That's what he says.
What is the agenda?
In the video.
What's the agenda?
What
is the agenda?
I mean, that he is seeing.
No, what is the agenda? Not the warped, fucked up reality that he wants his fans to believe. What is the agenda that you think the gays are trying to push?
His objection.
Why are you here defending Ben Shapiro if his views are in a warped reality that does not exist? Then
I'm here to defend reality. If you're going to put words into his mouth that aren't a just accurate description of what he's saying, that's just lying about his position, which was the whole point of this conversation.
So do you think that Ben Shapiro, who said to Dave Rubin that he would not go to his gay wedding or would not be okay with going to like his gay anniversary party or whatever, do you think that Ben Shapiro would be okay with Bill and the Beast and would happily tell stories about how he listened to the soundtrack of Bill and the Beast while falling asleep at night as a kid?
In public, I would say if it was Bill and the Beast 1992, in public he probably wouldn't make any mention of it. When it comes to his treatment of Dave Rubin, he's been pretty candid about the fact that the reason he did that was purely an appeal to his religion. And that I don't think that if he was such a devout, well, I'll say devout because I'm not familiar with the religion enough to say that he's actually subscribing to the correct version of the religion, right? But he's making a strict appeal to his super orthodox take on the Jewish tradition.
So
and the
then
Jewish
he
religion.
believes,
and then if that wasn't there, I guarantee you he would have gone.
Okay, then in that case it's even worse. Then he believes that there is a divine motivation behind his hatred of gay people and why they shouldn't be portrayed in media. He believes that he's justified by God then. Even more delusional, even more insane.
Okay, listen, I'm not going to tell you that an appeal to God in this situation is the right way to go about this, but here's something here's something that the left just doesn't understand.
Got a reality defender. I'm sorry.
So the way that these super religious people of the Western world, and I'm saying of the Western world because I'm not familiar with the Eastern religions and all the other religions, but when it comes to like super religious Jews and super religious Christians, I told you at the beginning I'm steelmanning this. Like, these aren't necessarily positions I take, right? They view they're not calling it evil, they're calling it sinful. And there's a huge difference in their view between how they view sin and how they view evil. But you and I, when we talk about sin and evil, we might be talking about the same thing. For them, the best way I can describe what they would characterize as sin is just temptation. That's it. Right? So when it comes to something like fatty foods, right? I could choose to eat the greasy ass hamburger, or I could choose to eat the salad, right? So they would say that it's not evil for you to eat the hamburger, but it would be giving into temptation. There's an element of sin involved in that.
Does that not imply then that giving into that temptation, and I guess in this analogy being gay, which also implies that then they all have the temptation to be gay, which is pretty funny. But not only that, doesn't that mean that then giving into that temptation is wrong? I've heard how religious people describe sin.
Yes. No.
They view sin.
You're right.
The way they describe it as every person is good. Every person, like every soul is pure. It is the sin that is evil. They view being gay as a sin. They view it as sinful, as a mark of evil on a pure soul. That is how they describe it.
Yeah, some dumb rednecks do say
no, that is how.
It's not how Ben describes it. That is absolutely not how Ben describes it. That is how
most religious people who regard homosexuality to be a sin regard it. They regard sin to be like they view human souls to be perfect. Like God created man in His image. We are given free will because that is the gift that God gave. I don't know how true this is to Judaism, but I know that. Excuse me.
I don't think you're actually right on that one. I think that the religious Jews and religious Christians.
Well, I am talking about Christianity here, and there's a lot of crossover. I just said I can't speak of Judaism, but like in Christianity, I'm describing right now.
The point of me doing that is Xander Hall, so that we don't have to deal with the religions that I'm not familiar with, the Eastern religions and all that stuff.
Okay.
That way
what I'm asking you right now is, are you here to defend Ben Shapiro's talking points from his warped, deranged viewpoint as being reasonable? Or are you saying that Ben Shapiro's arguments are reasonable based on I'm saying they're not nearly as unreasonable as you're characterizing them. And I'll also add this point real quick. When you say that when they're describing the thing as sinful as being just generically bad, that's true. But bad has a scale, and evil is a pretty far end of that bad scale. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said he believes it is evil. I should have said he believes it is bad.
Well,
my bad.
Again, I don't have any facial cues to see if this is supposed to be a dig or a shot.
I am actually not like it's. I'm saying it a little bit tongue in cheek, but that's legitimately what I'm getting from this. Is that I should have just said Ben Shapiro thinks gay people are bad, not evil. Like that. That's what I'm getting from this.
No, he believes that gay behavior is sinful. Which, again, if you want to just replace sinful with, I don't think it's the best way to characterize what he's saying. If you're going to replace sinful with in some way bad, I mean, I'm not going to necessarily bother.
Can you describe gay behavior to me?
Two dudes, sword fighting.
What else? Like two dudes holding hands, two dudes kissing, two dudes like on a date, two dudes getting married, two dudes having like child together? Is this all like evil, bad?
This is an excellent debate point to bring up to Ben.
I would love to bring this up to Ben, but Ben Shapiro only debates like college students. He doesn't debate anybody who could hold their own.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, the dude's a pussy. He doesn't announce where he's going to debate so that he doesn't want to get ambushed. Same reason Steven Crowder ran away from Sam Cedar. These people are fucking pussies. They live on these high horses where they can broadcast their propaganda to an audience of people who will soy clap to whatever they say. They'll get no pushback. They can just stick to debating college students for their little viral 2-minute clips where he's like,
"Oh my god,
it's in the name, by the way."
Have you watched the debate series he did with KTTV back in the day when the left would actually debate him? And
when the left would actually debate him, hasn't he turned down like 6 debates with Destiny at this point? Like one of the largest online left-wing debaters there is. I'm pretty sure Vosh has tried to debate him. I've added him once or twice on Twitter trying to debate him. Listen, you can try to argue that Ben Shapiro is just, no one will debate him. The left just won't debate him. No, He is a propagandist. He gains nothing at his current juncture from debating people that can actually hold their own in an argument. He got pushed against by, a friend of mine named Synth. She's a trans woman who actually ambushed Ben Shapiro at an event and asked him, how do you reconcile the fact that all your opinions on this is my stream, buddy. She went to him and asked him, how do you reconcile the fact that all of your opinions completely go against what the scientific community has a consensus on in regards to the trans issue? And he just floundered up on stage and said, I believe those institutions have been infiltrated by left-wing dogmatism. He outright says he does not agree with or believe in any of the reputable scientific or medical organizations. He does not believe in facts or studies or science. You cannot beat him on a grounds of being correct. The only way you can beat him is by out-memeing him, okay? He does not want to put his ass on the line and get called out for shit like that, all the lies he continuously tells in his show, the constant misinformation, the constant his history of the terrible shit he's said and done. He can't hold up to it. There's a reason why he doesn't do debates with lefties that can hold their own. He goes to college campuses where he debates random college students, and that's why he got famous. That's why everybody knows what facts and logic is.
Okay, so it's cool that you've allowed me, some rando on YouTube, to just jump in. This is an extraordinarily rare exception to the rule. Like Destiny, you're right. Destiny is in, we'll call it the Twitch sphere of politics. Would you say he's the biggest streamer on Twitch? Well, not anymore. Well, would you say in the Twitch sphere of politics, he's either the biggest or second biggest behind Hassan when it comes to politics?
He's probably the second biggest marginally left-wing political streamer, yeah, behind Hassan. Definitely the biggest debater, period, like on the left.
So do you honestly think that if I said just Destiny debate me, some rando on YouTube, like, again, cool that you've done it to me? I think, anyways, because I mean, maybe I'm just hijacking your channel right now.
I'm pretty sure Ben Shapiro was from my understanding, Ben Shapiro had was ready to do it and then last minute canceled or
on Destiny.
Or yeah, I'm pretty sure this was back in 2017, 2018. This was when Destiny was really getting big, I believe.
I will eat my own words if there can be any evidence, even just not real evidence, even just
I mean, it's been. I will actually hold on. Let me say, I may be wrong. This was 2018 when this would have come out. If anybody can look into that, hell, if anyone wants to go to Destiny's chat and ask him, hey, did Ben Shapiro
put a link in it in the chat in the chat or whatever, and just own me on this one. Go ahead, own me on this one.
It's a lot of content to dig through.
No, dude, it's your chat, man. So the point I'm bringing up is that Ben Shapiro wrongly views Destiny as a nobody because he's just online YouTuber. That's why he's not going to debate him. He wants to debate congressmen. He wants to debate
congressmen,
people you would see on TV. Again,
what about when he talked to Andrew Neil? Wait, have you seen the Andrew Neil meltdown yet? When he did talk to an actual... No wonder he doesn't actually do debates. After that talk he had with Andrew Neil on BBC, someone who knew what they were talking about, a right-wing pundit who simply asked, you complained about how the left makes politics more coarse, but I'm looking at your channel here and all your videos are titled Ben Shapiro destroys left-wing, Ben Shapiro eviscerates, yada, yada. Aren't you contributing to that coarsening of politics? And then Ben Shapiro goes on a rant about how Andrew Neil was this left-wing partisan whatever, and then leaves and gets angry and leaves. Oh, yeah, that is why Ben Shapiro doesn't debate anybody who knows what they're talking about.
No. Again, it's
the nervous laughing is really adding to my point too. I like it.
Thank
you.
I told you what was the adverb I qualified all of this with. He wrongly views Destiny as a nobody. He wrongly views all of these people in this sphere as nobodies.
Okay. In that case, then
that's why he's not going to debate them. Now, as far as Sam Cedar is concerned, with Steven Crowder, that's not the own that you think it is. The debate was supposed to be between X and Y. It was supposed to be between 1 and 2. To completely hijack that's such an unbelievably bad faith move. And now you and me would probably say, "Fuck it, let's do it." Oh wait, sorry. Can I swear on your stream?
No, this is a child-friendly stream.
Again, I don't have facial expressions, so.
No, we swear here.
All right, cool. All right. So, but like you and me would say, fuck it, let's do it. Right. But in his case, like it's a completely understandable position to say Sam Sneeder snuck into here under, again, under terms that were not agreed to in obvious bad faith. Why would I engage in this manner? So, like, I don't think that's the own that you think it is.
Okay, the story behind that is that Sam Seder and Steven Crowder were supposed to debate at a conference. And then Steven Crowder pussied out last minute because his dad made him pull out and told him not to do this debate. Like the lady over the phone had outright said, yeah, I think his dad stopped him from doing it. And Sam Seder's like, oh, that's too bad. Like the call was recorded. They published the entire the call with the venue and everything. And so from then on, it became sort of a meme that Steven Crowder, the change my mind, debate random people on the street guy, is too afraid to debate Sam Seder, a very well known and reputable lefty debater. And so he got the nickname Cold Feet Crowder. So as a meme, on top of that, H3H3 Ethan decided to bring in Sam Seder into the call there and see what would happen because Sam or Steven Crowder had been ducking him for a long time. It was a funny meme. I don't think it was like I don't think that
move?
alone.
I don't snake move.
I don't think it's a snake move. I think it was a completely. I think that anybody who says it's a snake move, no. Anyone who says it's a snake move is just mad because they like Steven Crowder and don't like Ethan.
No,
I'm sorry. It was not a snake move. It was not a snake move. You're only saying that because you like. It was a troll.
Why am I saying that? What's my motivation?
You clearly have some bias in favor of Steven Crowder or against H3H3, as many people online do. H3H3's got, not the best reputation online.
I don't know shit about H3H3. I saw that instance and I was like, okay, that's a snake move.
Sure. I mean, like, if you think that, that's fine. But I think that it's probably based on bias. I think that was a completely fine troll. I think that if that was a completely different scenario and it wasn't Steven Crowder and Sam Seder and H3H3, something like that would not be seen as a big deal. It was literally bringing somebody unexpectedly into a call. That is not a snake, a snake move, okay? Come on.
Bringing somebody into a call. He said, I can't debate this topic, so Sam's going to do the debate for me. That was an unbelievably snake move.
Okay.
Imagine if there was I organized a formal debate between you and Ben Shapiro. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you'd love this. I'm sure you would dive on that opportunity, right? Sure. And I told you it's going to be you, and it's going to be you, Ben Shapiro, and I'm largely going to get out of the way as the moderator. You're going to have a podium. He's going to have a podium. It's going to be in person. It's going to be at some giant venue. Lots of people are going to tune in.
We're really changing up the criteria here from random like 10-minute like call in on a stream.
And then instead of Ben
Shapiro,
Shapiro,
we're really changing up the criteria here to favor your side of things, aren't we?
Not really. I mean, the fundamental principle is the same.
Is it really?
Yes.
I feel like a better example would be if I'd like brought you in here and we were about to debate, then I was like, oh, nope. And then I brought like one of my moderators in here to like scream at you for 5 minutes. Maybe that would be more comparable. And then I just like... And then you left.
It would still be an incredibly snake move. Like,
I don't think that'd be a snake move. I think that'd just be like trolling. Like one of the most innocent examples of trolling I could think. Wait, how can the right be like the right will say everything? The right will say just dropping the N-word in like a black streamer's chat is just trolling, lol. But then like bringing somebody who someone's been too afraid to debate for a while into a call that they can easily leave on a live stream. All of a sudden, that's like a snake move. Oh, how could you do such a thing? Oh my god, not funny, so snaky. Oh,
it was just, dude. It would be a snake move if. Again, remember, I had none of this mic stuff set up. I was about to go to bed, and then I sent you that message. And that's cool that you were like, fuck it, let's do it, right? I did go through that effort to come on. And then if you know what? Now that you're on, now you're not going to get me. You're going to get my moderator. And I'd be like, well, what the fuck? Like, I'm here to discuss the comments that you made and the way you're characterizing him. Not the way your mods are characterizing him, the way you're characterizing him. So what am I doing here? Yeah, I'm bailing on this debate.
Yeah, and it'd be pretty funny. It would be a funny meme. It wouldn't be like snaky.
Again, if you were doing it as just like a pure comedy gotcha, I get it. I get it. But I don't think that like it would still be a snake move if I'm not basically in on the joke.
Weren't not Sam Seder, weren't H3H3 and what was the editor's name? I think the editor's name was like Ian or something. Weren't Ian and H3H3 for like weeks coming up into this saying Steven Crowder debate Sam Seder, you fucking coward, like multiple times, and that was what got H3H3 on Steven Crowder's radar in the first place. Like, I don't feel like this was like some backhanded, like, secret. I feel like the chances were pretty high to begin with. Not to mention, by the way, it seemed like Steven Crowder was ready for it to happen. He said, "I knew this was going to happen." Like, he was clearly scared it was going to happen there because, as said, Steven Crowder is afraid to debate somebody who can stand their own against the dialogue tree of right-wing talking points. The same thing goes for Ben Shapiro. These people have built their careers, their audiences, and their livelihoods, entire media empires, on not engaging with their opponents, saying their opponents are too afraid to debate them, only showing the debates where they win, such as the ones where they're going up against some college student that clearly doesn't know more than a media-trained professional like Ben Shapiro, and then not debating anybody who knows better. They can be completely selective, and they risk nothing.
Okay, so when it comes to Ben, he actually has debated the people that you would like him to debate in the past. He stopped getting those debates because when he would send out those invitations, he'd get either nothing or a no. Or in the case of AOC, he gets a "you're catcalling me." Right?
Like, wait. Apparently, also Steven Crowder had previously Steven Crowder had also previously rescheduled the debate with H3 when he saw that Sam Cedar had ended his show early. Yeah.
Do you honestly think that if an elected congressman, came to Ben Shapiro and said, "Let's debate. Let's pick your favorite one. The one that you think," I'm not going to say who it is. You don't have to say who it is. Just in your mind. Your favorite congressman or senator, the one that you think is going to own Ben Shapiro. Do you honestly think if that invitation went to Ben, he'd say no?
Like, he's demanding to debate AOC, but that's because
he wasn't demanding. He offered.
I apologize. I apologize for my wording. I apologize. I will reword.
He is
requested. He has made a cordial invitation numerous times to AOC to debate. Now, as much as I love AOC and I think she's real great, I don't think AOC is exactly like demonstrative of like the best the debate left has to offer by any means. No, there are plenty of figures in this space that have about as large of a platform as a debater as you can have on the left. I know, we lefties, we have it a lot worse than the right does. The right, can just easily upload content to their soy-clapping audience and get real big and make a lot of money. We don't got the dark money groups and whatnot. Dude, they're literally investing $100 million into a kids program on their show, okay? There are no... TYT doesn't have this one. Disney is a left-wing, a left-wing propaganda outlet now.
Well, okay, so the equivalent that you were giving before.
Wait, Disney... no, you said you were trying to steel man, but I can see like the mask slipping. You're trying so hard to hide that you're actually a Ben Shapiro fan.
I'll eat the Disney claim. That was okay. I'll eat that one. Are we gonna move on then?
Okay. Do you think that gay characters being in children's media is propaganda?
I think that's a huge mischaracterization of what he's complaining about.
Do you think that having gay characters in media, being in favor of gay representation, do you think that is propaganda?
By itself? Completely devoid of context? No, of course not. Completely devoid of context? No.
Okay. So what is the context that makes it propaganda then?
I feel like he's not using the word propaganda. I feel like he's using the word indoctrination. I feel like the thing that he's arguing they're indoctrinating folks into is what he perceives as something of an agenda.
What's the agenda?
Are you on Twitch right now?
No.
Okay. I asked that because there are certain topics that you risk getting booted off of Twitch for even bringing up. So I am of the belief that Ben Shapiro subscribes to probably not 100% the furthest right, but probably a solid 80% to the right of the gay agenda conspiracy theory. I have to explain what that is. I'm assuming you know what that is.
Yes. So you're saying to me and admitting that Ben Shapiro believes in an insane conspiracy theory. That is what is dictating his beliefs. And that is what you are here to argue?
Mm, what?
I'm giving you an out here, man. I'm
And
trying so hard.
yeah, no, and I'm trying to answer it honestly, right? Like, so, like, you asked a question that hasn't come up yet in our conversation, and I'm trying to answer it honestly. Now,
Okay.
I'll give you a second if you think that I just was just wrong in what I just said. To call me out for it, go ahead. You know, again, I'm trying to be as honest about this as I can. So, shit, I've gone off topic. I rambled and I completely forgot what you asked. Sorry.
I forgot
Do you
too,
wanna
but that's
repeat
just
the
because I'm
question?
high as fuck right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You got any other
That-
memes for me?
Do I have any other memes for you?
Like any other things you want to go over? Like any particular arguments?
Well, I would really love to delve deeper into this debates only college kids thing, if you don't mind. Like, have you seen
okay.
the old Ben Shapiro content?
Okay. I'm sure Ben Shapiro has a plethora of debate content with somewhat reputable, if not very well respected left-wing debaters on his channel in the past. But as of as long as I've been doing this content, I have yet to see Ben Shapiro agree to or do a debate with a figure that isn't a random college kid or something. Like I don't.
Is Cenk Uygur a random college kid?
When did he debate Cenk?
You're kidding.
When did he
You
debate
haven't
Cenk?
seen
I'm
that
curious.
debate?
I haven't seen the Cenk debate. Yeah, when
I
that
don't know the
happened.
date.
You
Give me
don't know
one
the
second.
date? I know that like Ben Shapiro and Cenk had a run in like back in 2016. Like I know they had something like years ago.
Politicon 2017.
2017. Okay.
So is the time frame that you're talking about more recent than that? I'm giving you an out.
I mean, 2017's fairly recent, I'd say. I mean, like I'd say that's fairly recent. But still, I mean, that's still like, I mean, that's 5 years ago. I mean, still, like, Ben Shapiro very clearly is selective with who he debates. Like, come on. Like, if he wanted to be debating, and
If you're
if
gonna
he
walk it
actually.
back to that point, so is
No,
everyone.
come on, dude. Are you serious? An example of a figure you could come up with on the left that's not like a random college student Ben's debated in the last like 5 years was 5 years ago, and it was Cenk Uygur.
Who was bigger than Cenk in 2017 in terms of
Cenk
online
Uyghur's a fine
debate
example.
sphere?
Okay, Cenk Uyghur's a fine example. My bad. I shouldn't have worded it that way. I said his name with like a tone that indicates Cenk Uyghur. No, but like 5 years ago, really? Like, I mean, that's not even that well predates.
What do you think
BreadTube.
happened in those five years though?
BreadTube happened for starters. Not to
Exactly.
mention, Biden's gotten elected. Yes, plenty of stuff has happened in those 5 years. Yes.
Do you think if Kamala Harris sent him an invite to debate, do you think he'd say no? Honestly.
Wait.
Like,
I just brought up the rise of BreadTube, a cascade,
Yeah.
a Smash Bros fighting collage of characters on the left with large platforms, many of which do debates that he could debate.
Yeah.
Also, you're describing politicians.
I gave
Politicians
it
don't
to
always
you
do
before.
debates. Why are you listing politicians doing debate? Politicians don't always do debates. Like, just because the presidential debates are a thing doesn't mean that every politician's a debater. What are you talking about?
He would do a debate with Anderson Cooper.
Maybe.
I mean,
he'd probably
huge.
get his.
That's huge.
He'd probably do it because, well, that's something that I think he'd probably do. Well, would he do it? We can't say for sure. I'd actually say he'd do that.
He would do it for clout only, and
I'd say he'd do that for
say
clout.
that's a criticism.
I'd say that he'd do
I
it for
agree with you.
clout. Probably, yeah.
Like, he
Probably
would
for
definitely
clout.
do that for clout.
For Anderson Cooper on CNN, there's no way. But like clearly, when it comes to actually debating on an equal platform with somebody that like can hold their own, that's not something he's interested in. Do you seriously disagree with that?
The problem with BreadTube, with BreadTube is the problem I already explained to you, is that he wrongly believes that BreadTube, because it's just like YouTube, Twitch, online, he sees this entire sphere as being basically like lesser than him, right? Like Sargon, right, is in his territory. I seriously doubt he would bring Sargon on for the type of conversation you're talking about, even if it wasn't a debate. Seriously doubt it.
Sure. Sargon's kind of like fallen off though. Like I don't know what you're trying to prove. My point was that Ben Shapiro doesn't engage with the left much. and then now your argument is that he doesn't engage with the left much because
He doesn't engage with YouTube.
of
He just doesn't
clout?
engage with. No, he doesn't engage with YouTube anymore. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle it is. He just doesn't engage with like the
entire
YouTube thought.
audience and content base basically is on YouTube. That's his main presence.
True. True. That's how he makes his money.
So do you think maybe he could just be kind of a bitch?
Do you think that he? Do I think that he's wrong to view YouTube and the entire YouTube sphere that way?
Wait, how do you
Yes.
know that's how he views it that way? All
Because
I
that's
know
how
is
he-
that he
that's-
doesn't debate lefties and that he only debates college students. That's all I've said. You're saying that he doesn't debate lefties like because they're all irrelevant and on Twitter.
No.
I
said
mean,
he
that's
doesn't
the
debate
essence
YouTube
of it,
sphere.
right? Yeah, he doesn't debate because
He doesn't debate the YouTube sphere.
How do you
period.
know that? How do you know that?
He said so in some of his whenever he does
He's
these,
never debated a
these
YouTuber before.
speaking. No, in his speaking engagements over the last 2 or 3 years, he has the Q&A session afterwards, and he's answered these types of questions before.
Hmm.
He just like when it comes to somebody like Nick Fuentes, for example, that's actually come up to him. He says he doesn't do it, and on principle because of what he said about.
Yeah, the
Ben
Nick
doesn't like the
Fuentes
Jew
thing's a little
stuff.
bit of a unique one. I don't blame him for that, considering Nick Fuentes had a group of his Nazi boys come up and start screaming anti-Semitic shit at him on the street. So that's a unique
yeah,
one.
and
I
he said
won't.
some pretty horrible things about his wife too.
I won't.
so.
I won't fault Ben on that one. There's no. I don't care how much you hate Ben. The anti-Semitism's never okay. But like,
Right, but on top of that, he's also added that he's just some YouTuber.
okay, so in that case, then, so Ben's just not going to
Won't
engage
debate
with
the YouTube
anybody.
sphere, period.
Okay, in that case, he uploads his content on YouTube, and he doesn't get challenged in his ideas. He won't engage with anyone challenging his
YouTube.
ideas from YouTube. Okay,
From
sure.
YouTube.
Okay, sure.
Right? Like again, if we're talking about CNN, MSNBC, all of these people that he sees as being in his again, he wrongly sees as being in his like tier, his level in terms of media at this point. He'll debate those people. He'll debate TYT, even though they're basically not any different.
Wait, what are you
in terms
talking?
of,
Wait,
like,
Ben
how they,
Ben
where
Shapiro
they operate.
collab with. Wait, he did. Wait, Ben Shapiro
that?
collab with Geeks and Gamers.
When was this?
Hold on.
I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that the reason he's not engaging with these people on YouTube is because he has said on multiple occasions he views the YouTube debate sphere as just YouTubers. And like, he just doesn't talk to them.
They've weaponized your political positions. They've weaponized.
Oh my God! It wasn't even just Ben Shapiro talked to them. Ben Shapiro hosted Geeks and Gamers on their thing.
Who's Geeks and Gamers? I honestly
Just
don't know.
a random 127,000 subscriber like quartering style anti SJW content channel that just simps for like right wingers. But I guess Ben doesn't engage with YouTubers though, unless maybe they support his ideas and he can post their content to get views and host more of his propaganda. Oh, maybe then he does.
You mean like Sargon?
Like
I'm telling you, he would
Sargon?
not have Sargon on. He's not going to have Sargon on.
Sure, he's not going to have Sargon on. What do you want from me?
Like he's not going to have these people on. Like
You can't get around that, L. He literally
I can.
collabed
Yes, I can.
with like
There's
a
just gotta
nobody
be-
right-wing
this has gotta-
YouTube channel. Come on. We've covered
This
Geeks
has
and
got-
Gamers before. They're like nobodies. They've got like 127K subs. They're not even that big compared to me. They're not even that big for right-wing YouTubers.
Okay, he made an exception from them, probably because he does this sort of thing for people that like, you know about the money behind him, right?
Oh, I know all about the money behind him.
Yeah. So you know how he has a sister now who has a YouTube channel?
Oh, I know
Yeah,
all about his
that's, like,
sister.
Super cringe. And we probably agree on that,
His sister?
right? Like,
He's cringe?
yes, his sister's channel.
Part of her is. Parts of her are. Wait, what? Never mind.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. I'm doing the
Milkers.
meme. I'm doing the mommy
Cosar
milkers meme. I'm
Milkers.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. So the reason I bring this up is because the people that are connected to him will actually talk to them because he's connected to them. There are definitely people he's brought up on his Sunday show that are probably nobodies, but when he goes on in these conversations, you find out that he's just like personally connected to these people. I would not. It would blow my mind if they weren't personally connected to these people.
Well, that does seem like a pretty substantial
Plausible,
amount of.
at least, come on.
I mean, that does sound like a pretty substantially generous interpretation, but sure. Maybe these YouTubers were only engaged with by Ben because they knew each other in real life personally.
You don't think that there's a connection in that sort of place? You've already accused the right of having this like dark money behind the scenes.
Well, I think that the Daily Wire does, and I think that like Steven Crowder showed, I think these like big high production value like company run shows do. I don't necessarily think that like John Doyle, Blair White, etc. are like funded by dark money.
Okay. Well, I mean, there it is. Like, and by the way, I don't necessarily disagree with you on that one. That like Ben Shapiro has money behind the scenes that he's very quiet about. And let me take that one step further. Deliberately hides to a point that ought to raise suspicion.
Does he what?
So I'm on board with that. I'm on board with your take on that matter.
I'm not suspicious of Ben. I think that he I don't think he's capable of defending his ideas, and I think he knows it. I mean, he outright said as much. As a matter of fact, have you seen the clip, the Syntheseer clip?
No.
Let me go find it. It should be her pinned tweet.
Is there a way for you to like share screen or something? So
oh, that's porn. Jesus Christ.
Is it, what?
Well, I forgot that her main timeline is a lot of her posting porn. I'm trying to find the debate.
If it's just like a 1 minute conversation,
no, it's
it'd just be easier to watch it together real quick. So we're
yeah. I'll find it on
keeping
YouTube
it
really
paced.
fast. I'll find it on YouTube. Shouldn't be.
All right, I'm gonna go back to your YouTube, see what your chat said. I'm sure I'm getting burned, torched.
What?
All right, here we go. So, I'll go ahead and I'll screen share it to you, my friend, so that you can see just as well as all the. Oh wait, no, I can't because I'm using Opera GX. Mind just watching my stream for a second while I play the video?
All right, well, I'm going to mute myself then and mute this because it's not going to sync up. It's
No
going to
problem.
Yeah. All right, give me a second.
Mm-hmm. You just go ahead and deafen and mute and like come back whenever the video's finished playing.
Why do you believe you're right about trans people given the American Psychological Association, American Medical Association, American Psychoanalytic Association? I can go on for about 5 more associations that are very prominent and govern the existing like health government or health industries within like the major Western countries. And all of these associations have multiple thousands of doctors, sociologists, psychologists, and with PhDs in their respective fields backing the idea that sex and gender are different, effectively gaining the medical consensus for sex and gender being 2 different concepts.
This is like 16 minutes. I just want to ask you if you're doing the 30-second version of...
It's not 16 minutes. It's 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Okay, yeah, I didn't see that. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Different opinion.
Okay, so sex and gender are 2 different concepts, but gender is tied to biology. So one of the big problems that you see in sort of the argument in favor of trans rights is this notion that gender and sex are completely separable. They're not completely separable. If they are completely separable, then this means that identifying people by their subjective gender really has no relevance as to whether they are a male or a female. Male and female are biological terms. So using terminology like male and female to describe a self-perception of maleness or femaleness is sort of a bizarre way of arguing whether a thing is a man or a woman. So here's my question. It's an argument that my friend Matt Walsh likes to make. What is a woman? Define what a woman is without reference to the word woman, please.
So this is actually a logical fallacy called a red herring. You're asking me a question in order to actually challenge my question without actually
No, it isn't. I'm saying that it really is not. I'm saying that biology, I'm agreeing with you that the notion of gender, which is effeminateness or masculinity, can be different from biology in the sense that biology is just pure male or pure female. But to suggest that there is such a thing as an effeminate male is not to suggest that an effeminate male is now a woman. Transgenderism makes the argument that if you believe that you are
Transgenderism makes the argument.
a woman, you are therefore a woman. Or if you believe that you are a man, you are therefore a man. I disagree with this. There are objective measures as to whether you're a man or a woman. There are objective measures as to whether you're male or female. There's certainly a spectrum when with regard to effeminateness versus masculinity. That's certainly true, but that does not change the underlying sexual dichotomy that is the basis for all human reproduction. Yeah, you can answer.
Right. So this dichotomy is a false dichotomy that isn't supported by any of the medical associations that I just named
Then
off.
let me
None
explain.
of the medical associations that I just named off would actually support the idea that gender is biological. This is something that's completely untrue within every single medical consensus.
Well, then I will just say that anyone who suggests that gender has no reference whatsoever to biology, it's not connected in any way to biology, is just full of shit. Because if the reason I and the reason that I say
then you actually just disagree with medical consensus within the Western nation.
Yes, I disagree with the false medical consensus driven by politically driven quote-unquote doctors. If any doctor denies to me that there is a dichotomy between male and female, a sexual dichotomy between male and female, they are ignorant and they are letting their politics get in the way of their science. Anybody who suggests to you that there is such a thing, for example, as a pregnant male is not a doctor, they are an activist.
That's enough of that. You ready to come back, friend?
Okay, I was just about to ask you if you wanted to go any further because this clip I actually have seen.
So I just wanted to say,
hold on.
Basically, what happens there, if you couldn't tell, is Synth asks Ben Shapiro, how do you reconcile the fact that your opinion on sex and gender and the fact that trans people aren't valid completely disagrees with the notions set by the entirety of the current scientific and medical consensus? His response is basically, I think they're full of shit, and any doctor who says yada yada is not a doctor, and gives essentially a non-answer that would just complete crowd pleaser answer. Now, Synth is not a pro debater, all right? A friend of mine, she's cool and stuff, but not a super pro debater or anything, stage fright. I mean, to be fair, she's a trans woman, and I'm sure about 50 people in that crowd would have loved to beat the shit out of her. So there's reason to be afraid in a crowd like that. I understand why she wasn't on her A game. Being trans in a place like that's got to be scary. But I respect the fuck out of her for going up there. Ben Shapiro basically admits to the fact that his beliefs do not agree at all with the overwhelming data coming from the medical community, the doctors, the scientists, etc., etc. The reason why he was able to get away with saying this is because he was in a friendly audience, and the only person pushing back against him was this one lone trans girl in the audience surrounded by MAGA hat wearing chuds. Now, if Ben Shapiro was going up against somebody like Sam Cedar or any left-wing debater who knows what really knows what's up, he would have been fucking slaughtered there. He just admitted that facts don't care about his feelings. He just admitted that his feelings don't care about facts, essentially, is what he just said. He just said it in a way that would please the crowd. I think you understand now why I have the impression that Ben Shapiro might be a little bit too afraid to engage with somebody who's able to call him out in a situation like that.
I mean, the second half of what you just said, I don't know how you make the leap from one to the other. But if we're going to address the first half of that.
Sure, go ahead.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second. If we're going to address the first half of that, two questions that I would ask are, first things first. The 2 points I would bring up are, first things first, he doesn't actually accept that what this person said is the consensus. What he was saying in that clip is that if he is to accept that is the consensus among those people, then that's not true, that they are spewing BS.
So Ben Shapiro is one of the largest right-wing debate figures, the largest right-wing debate figure out there. He's the right-wing debater. I'd be willing to say he's the largest right-wing debater there is. And one of the most common topics that he discusses is transgenderism. Stop. Okay. And one of the most common topics he discusses is transgenderism, and he doesn't know that the overwhelming scientific consensus is that trans people are valid, sex and gender aren't the same thing, and sex is dimorphic, not is that sex is a bimodal distribution based on like dimorphic characteristics rather than a binary. The fact that apparently he just now learned that, I guess, that signals to me that Ben Shapiro is even less credible than I thought coming into this conversation.
That's not how he's characterizing the situation. So I'm not going to get into a debate with you about trans stuff because it's 11 o'clock at night. And I have a feeling if you and I did
That's
that,
really not one you want to. You don't want to go against me on that one. I'm sorry. That's like it's like going naked
also,
soul level 1 up against like I don't know, really hard Elden Ring boss. You don't want to do that one.
Sure. I mean, the first question I would ask you is what's the third gamete? But
the third gamete is my dick in your mom's pussy.
All right.
All right. You got any final memes, my friend?
That's good enough. That's good enough. So.
All right.
Come on, I'm trying to take this in stride.
Okay.
So,
I love you, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, and you're trying to leave. That's fine. I get it. I've completely hijacked your stream, and I do sound like Ben Shapiro. Your chat is not.
It depends. It depends if you do a little faster and you like drag on a little bit, you can. But it's your normal voice
like
isn't too Ben Shapiro.
Ad.
You got to do like a little bit more like, and they're trying to push this narrative on our children. And it's really like, I don't know. It's, I think you could.
I'm not good at doing that sort of thing, but I'm sure if I was good at doing that sort of thing, you got like chat. I know I sound like Ben Shapiro. Like, you guys aren't the first people to say this at all. So, anyways, I'll just close with this. If we were living in the world of actual 1984, it would be really hard to distinguish the truth from just what the generic position is, right? Like, so if he's saying that. If it's actually true that these people are just driven and motivated not by actual science, but by partisan politics, then there's no complaints to be had here. And everything he just said, I mean, there's no complaint. There's no, like, I don't know what counter you have to that.
I guess I don't. Alrighty, my friend.
You don't sound like Ben Shapiro. You want to sound like Ben Shapiro. No, I don't. I hate my voice. I've heard my voice. Right? Like it's gotten raspier over the years.
Okay, you gotta ignore the chat. The chat will drag you into an endless hell of stun locking. You can never look deep. You can never look at the chat for too long.
True.
Okay, it's evil. All right.
Walmart brand Ben Shapiro. Great, awesome.
But listen,
anyways,
I really appreciate you coming on today. It's actually been a really fun convo. I hope you stick around. Hopefully you like enjoy my content in the community and stuff. It was actually a really fun debate. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, and just to be clear, man, dude, I do subscribe to like a lot of people I disagree with too. So like, this isn't just me subscribing just to jump on. So
okay, well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Again, sometime maybe.
Have a good one, homie. Later. Well, that was a pretty fun debate, wasn't it? Didn't expect to get such like a high octane good debate out of today. Holy hell. I was just like, I spent like starting a stream at 6 p.m., like just hopping on. Didn't expect to get such a good debate out of today's stream. God damn.